Whoa, that's a lot of bugs. There's probably way too many bugs. I don't like bugs. The Buzzworthy Bumblebee series is a Target-exclusive line connected to other main releases, such as Cyberverse, War for Cybertron, and Legacy. For some reason, it became less about Bumblebee, but at least this contains his updated version. In Canada, this was a Toys R Us exclusive that followed up the Worlds Collide, now titled Creatures Collide, with 4 deluxe-class repaints. Goldbug and Ransack from Generation 1, Skywasp, renamed from Waspinator or Parasite, and Scorponok in the Beast Wars toy colors. Here's the group together. Now, I hope you understand that I'm pretty brief with the modes. I mean, we got 4 figures to go through. That's a lot. As you can see, the villains are all bugs, and Goldbug has bug in the name, and he's a Volkswagen bug, so good enough, I guess. These figures have their own origins, from G1 to Beast Wars to something pretty obscure, but I like the colors that seem consistent. Mostly yellow or gold, blacks, and purples mixed seem to tie it all together. Oh, and I'm skipping the articulation bit. Most of them are pretty modern, and Ransack's the only one without a wrist joint. Transforming into an official Volkswagen Beetle, Goldbug is the throttle butt version of the Bumblebee character. It's a nice change-up. It uses the Cliffjumper body, but the mold is direct from the Netflix version. Basically, the car is just painted in metallic gold. It's got the rounded charm of the classic car with the Volks logo on top and in the wheels. Rolls fine, but I wish the taillights were painted. Don't like parts forming, but if you lift it, you can use the peg to connect the rocket launcher. Looks dumb, so I'd rather do the water ski mode. As the bazooka splits into 5 parts underneath, my copy had 2 of the same skids. I just flipped it around, but it's not enough for me to contact Hasbro for a replacement. Love the smoky windows though. Ha-cha-cha-cha! I like this little update to the Thrillbot, especially how much it's like Bumblebee, and I think we should get the rest of them. Some unpainted gold is exposed for the limbs, which I expected the tone between the paint to seem different. The head is the same from the Shattered Glass figure, with dark blue for the helmet, blue for the large eyes, and a face mask. I adore the Volkswagen feed, but hate that the backpack needs to be removed. You can use it for a shield or plug it to the back of the bazooka, but it belongs on the back, we know this. Speaking of, yes, you get the same old bazooka, but with different colored parts. They all split up if you want. Not sure why one of the blasters is molded black while the other is painted, but storing the skids you get 2 blasters and the rest can store on the shoulder. Ransack transforms into a yellow and black robotic locust, which is a rework of Kickback, but I'm excited. The original Insecticons were followed up by 4 deluxe Insecticons who are usually forgotten, so Ransack brings hope that they'll eventually return at some point. The colors work, replacing the purple with yellow. Sure, the bot isn't hard to see, but I love the way the arms split. The orange wings are a nice touch, but the clear cockpit doesn't open. You can swap the head, but why would you want to do that? This looks specifically like Ransack. Why would you make it look more like Kickback already? You can connect the gun underneath, and the blades can store on the wings, or more intentionally, use them to create the original thorax, which I like to do since it changes it up. The Bumblebee colored Kickback looks good. He's also pretty tall, mostly because the parts budget isn't that high. Still love that screen on the chest, adjustable wings, and posability. The painted waist is weird, especially since I think the yellow paint is different from the swords. Like I said, you can swap the head, and I like the sunglasses, but it's hard to pop off the ball joint, and why? This is Ransack with the antennas and red headphones. He does carry the machine gun and the swords, which you can plug on the side of the arms. They're made with clear plastic, but the yellow paint is gorgeous. Say what you want about Goldbug says, but Ransack counters it. Now here's hoping they do a barrage, chop shop, and I'm sorry, I meant Venom. This figure could go by a few names. Skywasp as a nod to the colors, Parasite a nod to the Marauders, but there was a cancelled Skywarp colored Waspinator from the Universe line that was meant to be packed with Night Prowler, and since they're both in Legacy, I think that makes the most sense. Honestly, love the colors. It's so scary with the purple, black, and gold for the thorax that matches the eyes. The blood red wings fit, though I noticed one of the sides seemed loose. The limbs are there, but thanks to the purple, it separates it from the black body. The gun hides in the back, and check it, the head moves up, the mandibles open, and the antennas move too. That's more head posability than most Kingdom figures before it. Here's the Horror Deco Wasp, and I gotta admit, Skywarp colors could work on anything. The red wings now go with the shoulders and head, and the purple is more spread out, though I think the lower legs are missing some paint, perhaps some black or gold. You can swap the head to reflect the original's interchange from the mutant one, and this robot design is fun, especially with the metallic blue ears that come out of nowhere. But come on, this wasp head is too creepy not to use. Posability is fine, the bug legs get in the way, and some of the joints are loose, especially in the torso, but I think I got lucky with mine. Looks good with the recolors, but even though the Stinger weapon is molded in underneath, the gun itself looks like he's holding a pillow. Lastly, Scorponok transforms into... well, I don't know, some sort of bug thing. I didn't think I would care since I have the original, but the black is really working, especially with the red tip on the tail that moves. Legs stand out in this color a bit, but it's like the original toy and they all use ball joints. Head looks fine to me, I'm not as concerned about tune accuracy, but the claws look cool. If you want, you can move the shoulders out of the way, but everything's dark on it, so it doesn't bother me. Kibble management still feels weird, but yeah, it's not that bad. Honestly, I didn't think this would happen, but to my surprise, I think I like this deco more than the Kingdom toy. Don't get me wrong, I'll use that for the cast, but the black and purple are a nice contrast. It's still not the best mold with the short legs, but I'm used to it. Some said the purple plastic was too thin, but it's meant to have a slight transparency. You could swap the head again, and that looks fine, but I prefer the animation one since it rounds off all the purple. I noticed the lower part of the torso has a lighter color, and the legs can store on the back. Some joints are tighter or looser than before, especially the knees, and he looks like he just ate white paint, but I love the claws. You can plug in blast effects or the double rockets along with the Cyber Bee, which uses a good amount of paint to pop. I'm sorry if that seemed too quick, but I didn't want to drag this review for the sake of a bunch of repaints. I will say I'm certain some people will go after the set for certain figures over others. I think Scorponok is not the most sought after of the pack, but I like how well it comes together. I was not expecting that. I think my only issue is the tolerance of the joints and the fact I can't swap Kickback's head. It's too tight, but I didn't really want to anyways. This seems like a pretty impressive value. Is it just me, or do they seem buggy? Yeah, that was a lame joke, but they're always lame jokes.
Allspark TV. Now that's just prime.